Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga. This is soft flow yoga. It's a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. So for our practice today, we're going to call it Twist Your Triangle. So we are going to feature triangle pose, which will work our hamstrings, our legs, and we're going to twist that triangle pose. Now we will be using props for that particular posture because it's a pretty dynamic rotation, and we want to be very gentle and careful with our bodies. So that's why I have my chair here. So I'll be using that, the top of the chair or the back of the chair here, and the seat of the chair, because I'm going to show you different variations of the posture just so you can see how it can suit your body. So you can use a chair, table, wall, anything like that, just to provide a little support for that particular rotation and pose. Again, we'll also use our regular props. Blanket, something soft that you can sit and kneel on, a couple of yoga blocks or hardbound books, and I've got my bolster back there just in case I want to use that. You might have a bolster or a nice big soft pillow that you like to sit on. Let's go ahead and begin in a seated position. You might come to easy pose. That's just simply crossing your legs here at the shins and ankles. I like to sit in half lotus. That's just comfortable for me. And I'm sitting up on my soft blanket to provide a little support for my back. Make sure you're sitting up as tall as you can. You might even just take a few deep breaths. You breathe in through your nose. You can exhale completely out through your mouth. Maybe a simple rolling of the shoulders a few times backward and a few times forward, just to loosen up a little bit, just to get in tune with your body and to fully arrive. Now you can continue with these very subtle, gentle movements as you continue to check in with your body, or you might just settle in and find stillness. And as you do so, in either case, be sure to focus on your breath. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. You want to be able to breathe in a way where you can feel your breath and hear the sound of your breath. Good. Feeling your body settling in, fully arriving. This all can be done with your eyes opened. Just take a soft gaze forward or downward, or close your eyes. I like to call this our breathing meditation, a wonderful way just to begin the practice. Just making that transition from whatever you're doing before your practice to really settling into being in the moment, fully aware. And also a nice opportunity to set your personal intention for your practice. Whatever you're needing, wanting, or desiring, just bring it to your heart, bring it to your mind. Perhaps this practice will help fulfill that intention, or at least provide you a nice step forward towards that intention. Take 3 more breaths while we sit in stillness in our breathing meditation, and we'll begin a moving meditation. So when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms out and then all the way up into the air. Nice stretch. That's the in-breath. Then exhale and extend your arms out and let them float back down by your side. Let's do that again. Inhale, fully extend your arms, reach out. Feel how your body is responding and following your breath, reaching into the air. And exhale, bringing the arms back down. Continue that, and I'll give you a little bit more instruction on how the breath is working within you. As you inhale, yes, of course, the arms are going up, but also feel the breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. Now, as you exhale and the arms are coming down, you don't want to feel like the breath is dropping back down. You want to feel this continued uplifting sensation. So when you exhale, even though the arms are coming down, you want to feel your belly draw in towards your spine. It's a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. It's called the abdominal lock. That way, that air, that energy stays uplifted. Now finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths, incorporating that form of breath and movement. Inhale, arms and breath go up. As you exhale, arms come down, but you stay uplifted, connecting to your center using the abdominal lock. Just come to stillness, hold here, take a breath. While still seated, bring your hands behind you, propped up onto your fingertips. As the arms come back behind you, also engage your upper back. And you can do that by rolling the shoulders back and then squeezing towards the spine. Just imagine you've got a pencil along your spine and you need to squeeze to hold on to it. We're creating a mild back bend. So also just tip your chin up a little bit, not too far. Then inhale, press into the ground with the hands. Feel that energy up the arms. Breathing in to fill up your lungs. Because with the arms behind you and shoulders wrapped back, feel that expansion across the chest. Really fill yourself up. Then exhale, draw belly in, keeping that connection, that abdominal lock, and squeezing shoulder blades together behind you. So a lot is happening in the simple seated position. Breathing in, fill yourself up. That expansive feeling in the chest and heart. Exhale, squeezing shoulder blades together, draw belly in, engaging your low belly. 2 more breaths like this. Then lower your chin just to bring the neck back to neutral and walk your hands towards yourself so you can sit up nice and tall. Just hold here for a moment. Let's move into our forward fold, and we like to do that in cobbler's pose or bound angle pose. So we take the soles of the feet together with the knees bent. That creates the angle here in the legs, and the binding part is just holding on to your shins, ankles, or feet. And so that there's space, or that actually if to close the gap, let's say, between the legs and the floor, you can actually tuck your books or blocks underneath you so your legs are resting on something. That might even help you to feel a little bit more relaxed. Then you're going to inhale and just sit up nice and tall, well-extended spine. Exhale, draw belly in. We want to keep that connection. And leading with your heart and chin, hinge forward just a little bit, not too far. Hold there. Now inhale, keep extending through the spine at this new angle. Exhale, draw belly in and hinge forward a little bit more. You can stay just like this, just starting to create a mild sensation in the inner legs as they stretch and release, but very gently, certainly not forcefully. Or you can go a little deeper, which I'm doing, and I think this feels good for me right here. Now I'm not going to go down too far, and I'm choosing to maintain a lengthened spine. Now, you're certainly welcome to go lower, but so that you don't feel the strain and pressure of the pose, you might lower your chin, round your back. That creates space so you can go lower and deeper without creating that extra stress. But like I said, I'm going to stay up a little taller and see if I can maintain a lengthened spine, just something different to try. And breathing. I really do feel this in the legs. Deep breathing wherever you are. Feel the breath continue to rise to fill up your lungs, lengthening in the spine, even if it's curved and rounded. And then continue to draw belly in. That's the engagement, helping you to support wherever you are. 2 more breaths. Now if your back is rounded and your head is lowered, like so, just lift your head a little bit to bring alignment back into the spine. And you're going to hinge your way back up to seated so you're tall. You can even place your hands on your mat and assist yourself and come up right here. Let's do one more very simple seated posture. Let's move the blocks. And I'm going to have you extend your legs, but take them kind of wide. Kind of like you're forming a triangle, since that's kind of our theme for the day. Just extending the legs and just have them out wide. Not too wide. Just here. And if you need a little extra support, just place your hands on the ground or on your blanket next to your hips and just press into it to help you feel the extended spine. We're not going to go anywhere else than this. We're just sitting, legs long, flexed feet, and straight legs, straight as can be if you can. A couple of breaths, tall torso, even roll the shoulders back lightly. Preparing for some upcoming triangle poses that we'll do. And of course, we're going to put a twist in that triangle. All right, one more breath in and out. And then just soften so we can make our transition. So we're going to come to our hands and knees. So just take your time, manipulate your body, get the legs back behind you like so. Come to your hands and knees. Use your padding. Might be a towel or a blanket or even another rolled out yoga mat on top of the first one, just to provide some cushioning. So you'll be here on your hands and knees, cat and cow, starting with cow pose, starting the undulated spine. So we'll inhale and tip the chin up, feel the heart opening or move forward. This creates an arch in the back, like a little back bend. Pelvis tips back, belly drops. And then we exhale. You tuck the pelvis under, pull the belly button up towards the spine, keeping that core engagement, natural curvature of spine and chin to chest. Now I'm going in slow motion as I broke that down, but you can continue at your own pace. So the inhale is the back bend, cow pose, tip the head up. Exhale, round it out, chin to chest into cat pose. Again, just continue to move at your own pace, but do pay attention to how this feels through your torso, maybe the sides of your body, your pelvis. Again, when you exhale, emphasize drawing the belly button up towards your spine to feel that engagement. Finish the breath that you're on, and we'll take 2 more breaths. And when you're complete, just pause in a neutral tabletop position right here. And then we're finished with the pad, so we'll just crawl off the pad. Let's fold it up and set it to the side. You're certainly welcome to use that again a little bit later. Return to hands and knees. We're going to step the hands forward. This time when you step the hands forward, spread out your fingers. Get a stretch between each finger. Press into the palms or lean into the palms so your palms flatten. Actually, it's a nice stretch, great opening for your hands. Also notice how straight and strong your arms are. Keep that sensation of strength and stability. You're going to tuck your toes under. Do another cat-cow flow. So inhale to cow, making that back bend. Exhale, round it out. There's cat. Hold cat for a second. Using that core engagement to lift your knees off the mat, send your hips up into the air. And as they go up and back, it straightens the spine. You might need to adjust your feet a little bit so you have more stability there. Feel free to adjust the hands. Be sure to continue pressing firmly into the mat with the hands. Strong arms. Check in with your head. Maybe nod your head yes, shake your head no. And I'd even encourage you to yawn. Open your mouth wide and just let that loosen up. Sometimes we hold tension in our jaws, in our necks, our mouths. Now let's start walking forward. Tiptoe forward until you're at the center of your mat, just to the place where your feet are flat on the mat, and then slide your hands or fingers towards your toes. You'll be in forward fold. Then we'll inhale and slide the hands up the legs, maybe to the knees or just below the knees here. Just rising up halfway, so you're flat like a table, drawing a straight line. There's an energy that's moving through the very top of your head, directly forward. So your focus, your eye line is down, and also an energy moving through your hips and tailbone to the back of the room. Feel the firm connection to the ground with your feet, even distribution of weight, softness in the knees so you don't lock them, and that natural engagement in your hamstrings, and that extra emphasis on engaging your core for stability as well. Ready to stand, shift your weight now into your heels. So that'll change the weight and your toes will be light. Bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting down into a low chair. Lift your chest. Take your arms out to the side. And then go ahead and stand up all the way, reaching into the air. Nice big stretch as you reach for the ceiling. This is extended mountain pose. Then exhale, bring your arms down to your side. This is mountain pose. Take a moment like we did in seated just to shake out those shoulders, maybe a few circles backward, then forward. Even checking with the other parts of your body, other joints, your elbows, your wrists, because we already did plank pose. We did downward facing dog. We did our cat cow, and that can put some pressure on the wrists, so you might want to just kind of shake them out there. Let's do our half salute to the sun once again. Back to mountain pose. We'll inhale, extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, and feel like you're sitting back and down into an imaginary chair that's behind you. And you'll feel your belly touch your thighs, perhaps. Let the arms drop, let your head drop. You might touch your toes. Then inhale, slide your hands back up to the shins or knees. And again, we'll hold here on the exhale, holding this flat tabletop posture. Same energy moving through the spine. Rooted feet, soft knees, engaged core. Half forward fold, ready to stand. Once again, shift your weight into your heels, bend your knees, lower your hips, lift your head, extend your arms out, rise up, reach up. Another big stretch. Feel the stretch through the sides of your body, that movement through your shoulders, and then arms return to your side. And again, you can shake all that out if you'd like. Alrighty. Let's do our variation of Warrior One. We're going to do a few things standing, actually. So here's our variation of Warrior One. Again, we'll start in mountain pose, nice and tall here. And we like to soften the knees, just being sure we're not locking the knees here. Shifting your weight now into your right foot. Press strongly into the floor. Feel tall and lifted. That's an inhale to feel that extension through the torso and spine. Exhale, draw belly in. We're going to lean forward a little bit. I'm picking up the left foot and just tapping it back. Really just lifted the heel and just tapped back, keeping the balls of the foot and toes on the floor, heel lifted. Just a flexed foot, flexed toes. I'm going to turn the leg out, pivot, and place the heel on the floor, shifting the body so I'm centered, and again, keeping that softness in the knees. Go ahead and place your hands on your hips. You want to feel like you're pushing your pelvis down. We're going to be doing this again later. So just mindfulness about feeling like you're pushing your pelvis down. At the same time, feeling tall up top, making some good space in your belt line. And then we'll turn to face forward. Inhale and extend your arms up into the air. Exhale, bend your elbows to about 90 degrees. Hold here, couple breaths. And again, our variation of Warrior One. The highlights here are, it's a lunge, but we've got less distance between the feet compared to the other version, which we'll do later, and the arms are bent rather than straight up. Now inhale and extend the arms up into the air again. Exhale, bring your arms down, bring your hands to your hips. We're going to lean and shift and put weight into this front foot so we can easily pick up that back foot, step forward, bring feet together, balanced on 2 feet. Let's go ahead and take our extended mountain pose by taking both arms up into the air. Exhale, arms return to your side. Finishing here, settling in, prepared for the second side. Ensure your knees are soft. Shift weight into left foot, press into the floor, feel tall and lifted, and inhale to extend the spine. Exhale, draw belly in. I'm leaning forward just a tiny bit. I can feel my left set of toes grip the mat, so I can easily pick up my right heel, flex set of toes of the right foot as I tap it back until it just naturally stops. We'll turn that leg, pivot, right heel plants into the floor, shifting body to center. Soft knees, check that out. Hands on hips, push pelvis down, torso lifts, space so you can turn to face mostly forward. Inhale, extend your arms up into the air. Exhale, bend elbows. Here's our 90-degree angle, variation of Warrior One. And of course, some deep breaths. Excellent. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms straight up. Exhale, bring your arms down, bring hands to hips. And again, we'll lean forward, shifting weight, putting it into the left foot. So you can pick up that back foot, bring them together. Even distribution of weight. Go ahead and inhale and take your arms all the way up. Then exhale, arms down to your side. Finishing that sequence. Now, like I said, we're going to continue doing some standing poses. Now, I'm facing you. And you might be facing me, but you're facing the front side of your mat. So you might want to turn sideways on your mat, or to stay as you are, because you're going to take your feet wide. And so if you take your feet wide, that might mean you're stepping off of your mat, okay? You don't have to go too wide, just separating the feet a little bit, okay? And again, placing hands on hips, like we did earlier. Hands on hips with the energy of feeling like you're moving your pelvis downward with the hands. And at the same time, from the belt line up, feel like you're elongating through the torso and spine, making as much space as we can around this belt line. What we're going to do very gently with this action of pushing down, lengthening up, is tip a little bit to your right. Just a little bit right there. That's it. Okay? So it's almost like, I don't know, it's just almost like a little robot that just tipped over a little bit at the hip. Okay, just feel what that, notice what that feels like for you in the hip area. And this is really actually getting us prepared for a triangle pose. And we're going to do this again with a change in this right foot. I'm going to come back up to the top actually. Let's turn the right set of toes towards the right side of the room, but making sure your pelvis is still facing forward for the most part. Push down, lift up, and tip. Okay, and just see if you can go a little further, mainly because we've changed the leg a little bit. So it might allow you to tip over a little bit more. Alrighty, so this is really actually a variation of triangle pose, just like we did a variation of warrior one. Let's come back up, nice and tall. Let's spin the toes front. Stay here, it's going to tip to the other side. Push down, lift up, tip to your left. Now I notice I don't go very far, and it's mainly because of the way the leg is turned in the pelvis. Alrighty, so that's why I wanted you to pay attention to that sensation. Notice how this shows up in your hips, your side body, and even along your low back. Let's come back up. Then we'll turn the left foot out. It turns the whole leg. It changes that posturing in the pelvis. Get tall, push pelvis down, and tip. And notice if that changes things, as it might. All right? You might be able to go a little bit more as you tip this over. Our variation of triangle pose, and in triangle pose, part of the work is certainly this kind of this sideways motion through the hip and pelvis, but also a nice hamstring stretch. All right, we're going to come back up, turn the toes forward, and we can soften and just bring the feet back together so we're in mountain pose. You can even shake all that out. All right, let's get moving again. Let's get into our sun salutation. I'm going to quickly adjust my mat, and we'll start. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, take them out to the side, bend your knees, sit back into your imaginary chair, slowly fold, taking your time. Your belly will touch thighs. Let the hands drop, head drops. There we are. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees. Re-extend your spine, flat back like a table. This exhale, we're actually going to slide back down the legs. Let the back round. Bend the knees more. Get low enough so you can place your hands on your mat out in front of you. And just start walking, stepping the feet back to the back end of your mat until you can draw a straight line in the body like so. Plank pose. Nice strong body position. We'll breathe in to bring some energy into the body. Exhale, move the body. Bend the knees a little. Send your hips up into the air. It's a return to down dog. Adjust your feet. You might want to tiptoe forward slightly. Even take the feet a little wider for greater stability. I like to take my hands a little wider. Creates a little bit more space in my neck and shoulders so they don't feel bound up. Now we'll inhale and pick up the right foot, extend the right leg back. Doesn't have to lift high, just reach through your toes. Exhale, bend your right knee. Bring that right knee in underneath you towards your chest. Shift your whole upper body forward until your shoulders are over your wrists, and then set the right foot down. Keep the heel lifted like we did earlier. You'll set your left knee onto the floor. Shift the body weight back to get the weight off the hands. Free up your right hand. Let's go get the right foot, pick it up, place it up at the top of the mat near the hand. Replace the hand
Relift that left knee, pivot or turn left heel to the floor. So this is how we're creating more space between the feet for our second version of Warrior One. Rising up to fingertips will help you lift your torso, helping you to shift more weight back, centering the body. We do want that. The right knee is still bent. Nice lunge. Hinge from hips with an inhale. Rising up, taking both arms up into the air. Exhale, just hold the posture. Second version of Warrior One. Straight arms. More distance between the feet. We're going to continue. Inhale right where you are. Exhale. Turn your torso towards the left side of the room as you bring your arms down to parallel. Right here. Make sure there's a good knee bend here in front, but being sure your right knee stays stacked and aligned over your ankle or heel and not past. You want that straight line right there. Feel tall through the torso. Initially, arms straight out to the side. Then we will create that same kind of angled upper body. We'll rotate the arms here, right hand down, maybe arm on the inner right leg, left hand reaching straight up into the air. Now this might feel different compared to when we did our first version of triangle pose. And we will be doing triangle pose, and we're kind of close to it. Breathe in right where you are. Exhale, you might lift out of that bend so you can easily turn your torso face forward. I like to take the arms out front. Fold. Hands out front so you can catch yourself with your hands. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Puts you temporarily in a runner's lunge. Strong hands push into the floor. Extend the torso. Keep that strong pressure into the mat so you can slide that right foot back to meet the other. Plank pose. Strength building position. Bend your knees a little on your exhale, sending your hips up into the air. Adjust the feet and hands. Arrive in the posture. Be sure your knees are soft. Hips are loose so you can extend your spine. Strong hands, strong arms. Inhale, extend your left leg up into the air. Just reach back. Exhale, bend this left knee. Bring that left knee in underneath you towards your chest or chin. Shift your whole upper body forward, aligning your shoulders over your wrists. Stepping through, but your left foot will just land somewhere on your mat. Heel lifted. Set the right knee down. Now we're doing this just in case you can't get the foot all the way up to the top of the mat initially. So this is just a variation, a modification. We'll pick up that left foot, place it near the top of the mat. Near left hand, we relift that right knee. Pivot right heel to the floor. Rise to fingertips, shifting the weight back so you can feel that extra pressure you're putting in that back foot because we need that. Your left knee is bent, lunging. Be sure to extend your torso. Now we're ready to rise. And inhale, pressing that foot into the floor to help you lift. Reaching up into the air to finish. Exhale, completion. Nice. Warrior One. Couple breaths while we're here. Now we inhale. Exhale, turn your torso towards the right side of the room, bringing arms down to parallel. I like to adjust the feet a little bit. Again, making sure we have nice alignment. Left knee, toes pointing forward. Shin straight up and down, knee over heel or ankle. Here comes side angle, where we reach forward to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate the arms. Again, we don't have to go down too low for this posture. There is an option of going down much lower where your left hand actually touches the ground. But for soft flow, we like to modify that and just stay up a little higher. And just reach up into the air with this right arm to feel the opening of the whole front body. All right, breathing in. On the exhale, we'll come back up a little bit. We'll turn so we can bring both arms forward. Fold, hands down to the mat. Catch yourself there. Rise up onto tiptoes. Heel lifted. Here's our runner's lunge. Activate it. Strong hands and arms. Elongate through the torso. Press the hands firmly into the mat so you can slide the left foot back, plank pose. Hold for a moment. And now we'll bring knees to the floor. All right, let's get off the hands, sit back briefly in hero. We'll sit off to the side here. Let's bring the legs around to the front. Sit in the center of your mat. We're going to get ready for our back bend. And we'll need a couple of blocks. We're going to do another pose, however, before we get to our back bend. All right, take the time to carefully roll down onto your back. Draw your knees into chest. Take some deep breaths just to get reacquainted with your breathing here. Some circles, some nice movement in the spine, low back. All right, before we get to our supported bridge pose, let's just lightly flex the feet, just a little. And since you're holding onto your knees or shins, just take the legs wide. Not too wide, but so you can start to feel, once again, a light stretch in the inner legs. We're not going to hold this too long. 2 more breaths, perhaps. When you're complete, you'll bring your knees together. Set your left foot onto the floor. Keep that left knee bent. Just foot on the floor. We'll extend the right leg into the air. Hold on to the leg. We're lightly flexing the foot so the heel feels like it's reaching for the ceiling. The knee can be bent here, but you can experiment with extending the leg a little bit more. Just notice how that feels. We are getting another hamstring stretch. We're just preparing for the initial triangle pose. We already did a modified version of it. We're going to go into triangle, and we're also going to be getting in some twists. Let's bend the right knee, set the right foot onto the floor, pause for a moment. We'll do the other side now. Let's hug the left knee in and extend the left leg into the air. Lightly flex the foot, heel reaching for the ceiling. Just hold on to the leg with both hands. Still okay to keep a bend in the knee or experiment with extending the leg. And you can do so by really reaching upward through the heel. That will help to straighten the leg. A couple of breaths. And then we'll bend the knee, hug it in. Let's pick up the right foot and hug that right knee into chest as well. A little extra movement in the low back. Now we'll set both feet onto the floor, knees bent. Feel free to keep the knees and feet hip distance apart, or you can take the feet a little wider than your hips. Okay, we're getting ready for our bridge. Do you have your books or blocks? When you inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty your belly, engaging, then lift your hips up into the air high enough so you can slide your books or blocks underneath you. Take a seat, settle in, adjust your body, and then just relax here for a few breaths. Just allowing the whole front body to open. Make sure you're still reconnecting or keeping your connection with breath. Breathing into your heart space. 3 more breaths. When we're complete with those breaths, you're going to press your feet into the earth, lifting your hips so you can remove your books or blocks, set them to the side, and then lightly land. Once here, extend the legs out front. Reach your arms behind you for a nice full body lengthening and stretch. Make sure you take a deep breath or 2 here. Then we're going to get ready for another seated position. You can hug your knees into chest. You can carefully rock forward and back, gaining momentum and strength to rock your way up to seated, or simply roll to your side and then use your hands and help press yourself up to seated like this. We're going to come back to cobbler's pose. All right, I'm going to sit on my blanket, so I'm going to bring my blanket back in. Sitting on that, just to have some softness and some height and support for my back. Cobbler's pose. Here, we did this earlier. You can use your blocks here again too. Tuck them underneath the knees. Now what you may want to do, you don't have to bring the heels in too close. And for some, that might not feel great on the knees here. You can actually slide your feet forward And you might even look at the angle in your leg and it'll look more like a right angle right here. And that might take some of the pressure off the knees if you want to do that. And for what we're doing next, this is appropriate. So we're just going to come to cobbler's pose, and we're actually going to twist. We're just going to introduce a twist, but I wanted you to do it kind of with this wide leg feeling, okay? Because it's going to kind of mimic once we get into the revolving triangle or that twisted triangle pose. All right, so you're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm just holding onto the shins here. Take a breath. Let's set this up. Take your left hand and place it behind you, just somewhere where you can assist your own body to sit up as tall as you can. Now free up your right hand, just out here. Inhale, get tall as can be. Exhale, pull your belly in, and using that action to turn or twist a little bit to your left. You don't have to go very far, not far at all. Okay? So maybe your heart feels like it's going right across the shin here. And then the free right hand, just go ahead and hold on to the shin, knee, or even the outside of the thigh, which might feel a little too far. So holding onto the knee or shin might just feel a bit more comfortable. I'm holding onto my shin. And I have a mild twist or turn to my left side. And just holding on really is literally allowing you just to hold yourself in place rather than trying to pull yourself deeper into the rotation. You already did the twist. You're there. Now you're just holding yourself in the posture. Okay, one more breath. Return to center, both hands in front, maybe holding onto the shins again as everything realigns. We'll set up for the other side. Same thing, so the right hand will come behind you, press into the ground to help lift and lengthen through the torso. Free up this left hand. We're still facing forward, just freeing up the left hand. Inhale, get as tall as can be. Exhale, pull belly in, again using that sensation to help turn a bit to your right. Just find that natural stop. Then we'll take the left hand, catch the shin here to hold yourself in place. Modify if you need to, meaning you can go slightly deeper into the rotation. Just want to be sure you're not forcing yourself into the posture. We don't want to stress out the body. Or maybe you've gone too far and it does feel a little stressed. Then you might want to unwind a little bit. And I'm actually unwinding just a tiny bit. But I'm still in the twist. It just means I'm able to hold it a little bit longer. And really gaining the wonderful benefits of the hip opener and the rotation. Take one more breath. And then unwind, facing forward, and that's it. Just hold on here for a moment. So we've introduced a rotation. Now we need to get back into some standing and get into another version of triangle. And we're going to be kind of we're still working up to the twist of the triangle. Okay, let's move our blocks out of the way. We're going to come back to hands and knees. So we need to move our blanket if you were sitting on one. Just your mats if you need to do that. While we're here on hands and knees, let's do another cat-cow. So inhale, lift head and heart. Arching the back, round it out. Since we just did that work of really trying to keep the spine long and tall with that rotation, this just gets the back body moving in a different direction. Alrighty, come to stillness. We'll step the hands forward, spread out your fingers, press palms into the mat. Strong arms, tuck your toes. Exhale, lift knees and hips up into the air, downward facing dog. Adjust the feet and hands. Take a breath. Loosen your head and neck. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Not concerned about the height, just the extension of the leg. Exhale, bend the right knee. Bring it in towards chest. Shift your body forward. Maybe this time the foot does reach closer to the hand. If it doesn't, do what we did earlier. Setting the other knee down, pick up the foot, etc. Once we're in place, we're pivoting left heel to the floor. Rise up to fingertips. Shifting body weight back to get more pressure in that back foot. Rising to fingertips more extension through the torso. Then we're hinging our way up. Warrior one. Immediately opening torso to the left side of the room. Warrior two. Go ahead and relax your arms. Now, there's more distance between the feet. I'm adjusting my feet here, but we are extending this front leg. Place hands on hips. Push down, lift up. We're going to triangle. Inhale with that extension. Exhale, tip towards that right leg. Foot, toes pointing forward. We're tipping. Now, in other versions of this posture, if I'm teaching this in different classes, what we may do, and you can certainly try it here, you can bring your right hand down to the inner leg, and the left hand can reach up into the air. That's an option today. But here, keeping hands on hips might help you to feel more supported. You might feel more supported in your body. We're going to tip back up. Keep the hands on the hips, torso lifting, and then turn towards the front leg, and then just keep turning until you feel a natural stop. And for me, it's about here. All right, see if you can kind of take a snapshot of what you feel like where you are. You might even look around and look at your body. Pay attention to your hips here. Now for me, because of the wide stance, and because my left foot is pretty much directly behind the right foot, okay, I've got what's happening. My right hip is kind of pointing out that direction, and my left hip in this direction. So it's this angled thing, okay? Now, what we can do is try to get the hips so they're more parallel like this. So do that with me, all right? So I'm bending my right knee. I'm actually going to bring my left foot closer in. I'm going to take it out to the left side, so directly out. Now let's try this again. Straighten the legs, hands on hips, tall, turn. Oh, I went a little further. Now my hips feel like they're aligned to the sides of the room rather than the corners of the room. You can do that if you'd like. Hold here for a moment, okay? This is getting us ready for the twist. Actually, let's go ahead and just lean forward a little bit until you start to feel a lengthening sensation in the hamstring. All right, hands on hips. Still feeling like you're pushing the hips, in this case, down, maybe down towards that left leg. Torso long and extended out front. Feeling the hamstring stretch. All righty, we're really breaking this down today. We're rising back up. I'm going to bend this right knee, lean into it, and even just take several steps to bring this left foot up to the top of the mat. And here we are. Mountain pose. We're just going to flow our way down and get ready for the other side. Here we go. Inhale, arms up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees a whole lot so you can fold and bend. Hands might touch toes or land at your shins. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs a bit to extend spine. Bend the knees. Exhale, fold, bend. Hands to the floor. Walk the feet back. Plank pose. Take your time getting the feet back to the back end of your mat. Once you're here, breathe in. Exhale, bend knees, send hips up into the air. We've made it back to downward facing dog. Loosen the head and neck. Soft knees, hips high. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Exhale, bend this left knee, bring it in underneath you, shifting body forward, maybe landing closer to the left hand. Right heel will turn and press into the mat. Step the hands back, rise up onto fingertips to help you lift and to extend the torso. Once you're in place, we'll inhale, rise up, reach up into the sky, warrior one. Exhale, turn and open, warrior two. You might adjust that back foot. Lower the hands. Ready for triangle. We're going to straighten the left leg. Feel tall here, hands on hips. Push pelvis down. Feel torso lifting, again making that space in the belt line, and we're tipping towards the left leg. Just a bit here, starting to feel, I feel this kind of in the higher region of the hamstring area. Some deep breaths. You have the option of extending the arms. Alrighty, might do it just like this, and then return to the hands on hips. For me, it feels a bit more supported. All right, we're going to come back up, nice and tall, pushing pelvis down, torso tall, and starting to turn. And we're just kind of checking in with the angles here. Alrighty. Again, now my right foot is mostly directly behind the left, so I'm going to have a limited rotation or turn. I'm going to stop here, and now my hips are kind of pointing out at those angles again. We're going to change that. I'm going to bend this left knee so I can bring my right foot in or closer, and then directly to the right side, way out. Straighten the legs again. Hands on hips, push pelvis down, long torso, and then turn. Now my hips feel more aligned to the sides of the room. I'm going to stay here for a second, feel as tall as can be, and then hinge just a bit. Okay, we're getting closer and closer to that twist. Alrighty, feeling this hamstring. Okay, it changed a little bit. I'm feeling it a little bit more in the larger head region of the hamstring rather than higher up near closer to the glute when we're in that sideways triangle pose. Okay, we're rising back up just a little bit because I'm going to lean forward, put some weight into this front foot, pick up that back foot, step together, mountain pose. Let's take extended mountain pose by taking both arms up into the air and arms to the side. All right, now we're going to add the rotation. I'm going to bring in my chair, or just come to a wall, chair, or table, okay? I'm just going to fold my mat back so I can bring my chair in so you can see all of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that in half. I think that'll work. Yeah, we'll do that, okay? So I'm going to do this two ways. One with kind of the high back end of the chair, then I'm going to spin the chair around and it lowers the body, okay? So we're just going to set ourselves up for that rotation. So let's go ahead and hold on to your table, chair, wall, whatever you've got, soft knees, put weight into the right foot, just lean into whatever you're leaning into. Let's step that left foot back, toes flexed, heel lifted, and then plant that foot. Now I'm kind of far away from my chair there. All right, we're straightening the leg. Now again, the way that I step back, my left foot is directly behind the right. Now the distance is fine, but I need to step my left foot to the left side of the mat because I still want to be able to face directly forward here. All right, so I can do that same fold, okay, maybe to here. You can certainly go lower, I'll show that in a moment, but maybe here. Okay, legs are straight. You want to feel that your aligned hips are moving directly back, okay? Here comes the twist. I'm going to keep my left hand on my chair, extend my right arm out to the right side, and rotate. Now, we're not going to keep the hand there. Actually, I'm going to bring my hand to my low back because you'll notice, hopefully, that your low back stays relatively flat. Your rotation is coming from the mid-spine. So this is our rotation, okay? And you can see I haven't gone down too low. Okay, we're revolving our triangle. We're going to do it again in a second. So I'm going to re-extend my right arm out to the right side, unwind, just bringing hands to the back of the chair, and rise up. Alrighty, I'm just going to spin my chair around. If you're using a table or a chair or a wall, you're just going to go down a little lower or just bend your elbows. Okay? So hands are on hips here. Nice and tall. I'm just hinging forward and getting much lower, but supporting myself on the seat of the chair. Okay? So I'm basically in a forward fold like we've done earlier with the flat back. You just happen to have some distance between the feet. Same thing, I'm just kind of using the chair to help extend spine. Exhale, twist to the right, swinging my right arm out to the right initially, and then bringing right hand to low back. So this is our variation of a revolving triangle. Okay, twisted triangle pose. We twisted the triangle. Re-extending the right arm, unwind, hands on the seat. Now all through that the legs were straight, but we're going to soften those knees, press to lift myself back up, get nice and tall. Arms up, exhale, arms down, maybe to hips, so I can set weight into the right foot, Bring the feet together. Let's go ahead and take the both arms up again, just for good measure. Arms to your side. Now that was a lot of breaking down, but you're getting an idea of how we're doing this. Let's do the other side, twice on both sides. So one kind of high up and then one lower down. Here we go. Soft knees, putting weight into the left foot. Leaning forward, and just go ahead and use that back of the chair or wall. I'm taking the right foot back, heel lifted. Pivot, sit back. I need to pull my chair in a little bit. Here's my pose. Straightening the legs. All right, now I want to change this because my right foot's directly behind my left. I'm going to move my right foot to my right side, just directly out sideways, just enough until you feel like your hips are square. Okay, pointing to the side and you're facing forward. Hands on the back of the chair or wall or table, whatever you've got. Inhale for more length. Exhale, just hinging a little bit at this angle. Don't forget, we're keeping the legs straight. My right hand's going to stay on the back of the chair here. Left arm goes out to the side initially with a bit of a turn. See, I didn't go very far. Bringing hand to low back, making sure it feels pretty flat there. Rotating. There's my pose. I really feel this. Couple breaths. We're going to do this again, just so you can get a different sensation. All right, let's re-extend the left arm out. And then back to the chair as you unwind. We'll go ahead and soften the knees here, let's say, so we can come back up. And we'll lean forward. We'll go ahead and step that foot close so I can spin the chair around. Actually, you can keep your foot back there. Keep it in the same place. Just want to make sure you come back up, nice and tall here. Good. Hands on hips. Inhale, more length in the spine. Exhale, I'm hinging forward to a flat back, parallel to the floor. Hands out onto the seat of the chair or whatever you've got here. Legs are still straight. Remember, hips are square, and there's a sensation of feeling like your hips are moving to the back wall. We'll keep right hand on the seat of the chair. Create an airplane wing with the left arm out to the side until you naturally stop. Maybe hand on low back, and here we are. Our revolving triangle pose. Legs are straight. Notice what's happening in the legs here. Okay, maybe not so much sensation in the hips because ideally they feel square, aligned, like you're standing in mountain pose or folding forward with your feet together. All right, we'll go ahead and soften here. Okay, press into the floor to lift back up. Arms up into the air. Exhale, hands to hips, leaning forward so I can step the feet together. Here's our nice realignment of the legs and hips. And up into the air with the arms one more time. Exhale, arms down to your side. Excellent. Wonderful. So that was it. I'm going to move my chair out of the way here. Re-extend my mat. Let's go ahead and just flow our way down to the floor so we can wrap up our practice. Okay, mountain pose. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Bend your knees, sit back into your imaginary chair. All the way down we go, or partially down is fine. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins, extending through the back body. Exhale, fold. All the way down we go. Hands to the floor. Walking the feet back. Plank pose. Hold here for a couple seconds. This is our last active posture. Let's set the knees onto the ground. Sit back briefly in hero, getting off the hands. Sit off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front. Be sure you're sitting in the center of your mat. Carefully guide your way down onto your back. Feel free to bring in something soft underneath you if you'd like, to lie on, or even just something for your head. Once you lie down, you might even bring knees into chest. Add a little movement through the low back, creating figure eights, or just rocking left and right. We're going to finish this with a twist to both sides. Since we featured twisting in our practice today, let's carefully take both knees over to the left side, down towards the floor. as you extend your right arm off to the right side. Just 3 or 4 breaths. Deep breaths here, allowing the body just to really settle, relax. We've already done a lot of engaging work to help support our bodies. Now as we rest on the floor, we can really start to let things go. All right, one more breath. When you're ready, let's go ahead and bring the knees back up to center. You might pause there as an opportunity for your spine to realign. And the knees moving to the right side, spinal twist. So knees to the right, extend left arm to the left. Settle in, breathe, relax. Two more breaths. When you're ready, slowly return to center. Again, you might pause here. And then go ahead and extend your legs out front. Arms resting down by your side as we arrive here in Savasana. Once you're here, you might breathe in, filling yourself up entirely. Exhale completely, feeling the entire body relax, release, feel it melt into the ground. And let's hold here for several minutes. Eyes can be opened, softly gazing upward, or close your eyes and move inside. Feel your breath. Experience the stillness in your body. If you happen to be thinking of anything, perhaps just come back to your personal intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Bring it to your heart and mind. And maybe your practice helped guide you forward towards that intention. Or maybe you just opened yourself up to receive that intention. It'll come right to you. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice, you can just stay as you are. Fully released, relaxed, calm, and centered. When you are ready to move, rather than moving your body too quickly, start with the breath sensation. Take 5 slow, steady breaths. Deep, energizing breaths. And these are the breaths that are bringing new energy to the body, bringing movement back into the body. And when that movement returns and you feel ready to move the body, carefully and slowly roll onto either side, pausing briefly in a nurturing pose. Continue to move in slow motion and guide your way up to seated. Sitting nice and tall, perhaps with your legs crossed in a comfortable position. Nice lengthened spine. Your hands can remain in your lap or bring hands to heart center. Take one more breath. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.